Good morning, everyone. Today is the 24th, and we're back again with another analysis. Let's take a look at US30, and I'm going to quickly walk through with you guys a trade that I took yesterday. Did I delete it? Bear with me. I'll do a quick markup for you guys. I think I kind of deleted it yesterday. Hmm. Should have kept it, or is that a trade? Yeah, there we go. No, it's still there. There we go. Okay. And I am pretty sure I'm just going to. Mm, I'm just trying to remember which time frame I took the. I think it was 15. There we go. Okay. So basically, guys, I took a trade yesterday, and I'll just quickly walk through with you guys where I took it, my entry, and why, and how it panned out. And as you can see, it panned out really nicely. So, okay, going back to all my trading rules and strategies, my moving averages lined up just the way I wanted it to line up. So if you guys can see, they're all fanning out the way it should. And I had a rejection of the 50 EMA. All right. So, and the bullish pin bar printed. So again, I my risk to reward ratio was really good on this one. So basically, I was watching this trade, so I didn't just set it and go. And this was very close to the news, guys. So it was a little bit scary for me because we could have got a nice bearish candle take me out in an instant. So I'll tell you guys what I did when I was approaching news time. So basically, my risk was 34 pips, just below this bullish pin bar, just round about here, like as you can see. Okay, if you can see this bullish pin bar on the low, it was for L34026. So remember, we look at the right top here, where if you hover on the candle that you want, you can see the open, the highs, the lows, and the close. Okay, so if I hover around this bullish pin bar, you can see that. Now, so I basically put it at 0417, which was very close to the um 34,000. I wanted to go down a little bit to 34,000, but then I didn't because I just thought that it was a bit too much and I just wanted it to be slightly below the um, bullish pin bar. But if you look at this pin bar here, can you actually see it came to 34,001? Like I've told you guys before, price always likes whole numbers and it would come back to test it. So it literally came here, did a reject, touched it, took everybody out on the previous low, and then went all the way back up again. Because some people could have just stayed on the trade and had their stop loss like me, and I would have been taken out if I was still in the trade, for example. Right? So anyway, so this is what it is. Um, but I also want to show, okay, so before I show you guys something else. So basically what I did was I entered here, stop loss was 34 pips, and I took it to the next support resistance line, okay, which we already drew in our previous videos. Basically, if you go to the daily time frame, I knew price was actually going to go up to the next support resistance just because of the previous high, but then I did not want to stay on the trade any longer. So the take profit was 158 pips, right? And this was 4:4.65 risk to reward ratio, which I thought was really, really amazing. So I came out. And so what I did here, so I was already well above in profit at this candle. This candle here, the red one, was the one where I basically with the news candle. That was the news candle at 245. Okay, you can see it opened up with a nice gap as well. So it immediately kind of took me up at a higher level of profit. And obviously it went up, but no, I had my stop loss here, and so therefore, no, my take profit here, and so therefore I came out, which I'm not regretful. I think it's a good thing to do. Like I sometimes I just feel like don't be too over greedy. You have your take profit point come out. The market might give more, but sometimes we can't really grab every single thing that comes out from the market, right? So what I did at this point here, literally, I put my stop loss here, guys. This is what I did. So above this bar here, so I'll just show you guys another. I'm just trying to see if I can find a dotted line. So, well, what is this rate? Okay, so here, I'm just going to draw a line just so that you guys can see. Okay, so just above this here, this candles, I touched it, and so my stop loss was adjusted round about there basically, and I let the trade run. So basically it did come very close. The next candle, if I had still stayed on, I would have been wicked out and I would have come out here, but then when it went up first, I literally came out already. So this is where, so when I was already in this candle, I adjusted my stop loss, and if I were to bring this down, it is still way above my 1 is to 1.5 risk to reward ratio anyway, because that's typically where I normally tend to go. And then once I hit that 1 is to 1.5, I adjust my stop loss, adjust, adjust, adjust. And then when it finally came to this candle, right, I basically put it here because I knew the next candle was a news candle, and we could literally get a red candle form right here and take everyone out. So I was not willing to lose everything I made. I was only willing to lose from the close of this candle to my stop loss point. That was just so minor. I'll tell you what was pips. So roughly around about 10 pips. Yeah, which I was like, you know what, it's fine, but I needed to adjust my stop loss there. So this is what I did, guys, just so that you guys know how I traded that, and I was out of it. Um, yeah. Then, and so what I was going to show you guys as well was actually really this is interesting as well. So I am actually going to delete this. Actually, never mind. Let's just leave it there. And I'm going to show you guys how it did a fake out. And then, so there is a liquidity here, if you can see. Okay. And basically, look what it did. So price went up, came back right down, did a fake out. Actually, I'm going to delete it just because it's the hoovering just makes it really difficult, isn't it? So it did a nice fake out here. Okay, this whole bit is a fake out. Um, okay, below here, came back, retested it basically, okay, and then shot right back up, and then it started to do its consolidation, and now it's still on the way up. Now look at this one here for today, this printed, but I did not go on it, and just because I feel like it is a very vital point. You can see this divergence here, like all these candles are basically like, even though it's on an uptrend, it's showing very like as if it's leveled, if that makes sense. So therefore, we are expecting a drop, which it did. And look at the profit you would have been if you had gone into this bullish pin bar. Very 20 pips, and then if you take away your spread and so on, it's around about 17 pips, I would have thought. But having said that, this is a very crucial point. So look at that. Do you guys get me? So I feel like it's done its fake out, it's doing its fake out here. It has broken because it has closed above the previous high here. I mean, it might close somewhere above, maybe, I would have thought, but like I told you guys, we are expecting price to go a little bit higher, which is what it's doing. So it might go push up a little bit higher about the support resistance or just about here. And then it's going to do either a fake out. So basically, I'm just going to draw it again so you guys can understand again. For if you've never watched the previous video, it's here now. It's probably going to come back in, do a retest, and then basically, oopsie, basically make its way up, and this is going to be a nice one. If we are going to go with the daily, I'm going to just turn all this off as a naked chart just so that it's easier for all of you to see being clean. You can actually see where it's going to go. Look at how beautiful it is when it's a naked chart, so you can literally draw your next support resistance here. Mm, horizontal line. Okay, because it's the daily, you will tend to draw very close support resistance lines because if you drop down to the lower time frames, you probably will find more. It is just that I kind of feel like there's more left-hand data on the daily right now compared to others. Like if I drop it to the 4 hour, can you see how far away it is? You guys get me? It's like, yeah, okay, we could do here as well, I suppose. Do you know? So this one is here. Just make it a bit more bigger. Let me just see. Okay, there we go. It doesn't really capture to, oh, it does. Okay, so let's just, we don't have anything much there on top anyway, so let's do it on the 4 hour. So roundabout, let me just draw this more accurately. Um, yeah, I think it's roundabout there. And then one more up here. Yeah, I'm just going to draw two, guys. So this is where price, you can expect price to go up. So you can kind of draw your stop losses and I mean your take profits as you go along to see where price would possibly go up. Now, just depends on the, so if you see this, I'm going to remove the divergence on the 4 hour. There we go. So you can actually see that price. Let's draw a trend line and see where we are with the trend, okay? Yeah, actually, if you draw it this way, it's kind of already broken, isn't it? So I would basically go here, 4 hours. Yeah, so you see, so this would be a broken trend line, but typically for me, I look at that, just look at that. So I'll show you guys now. Literally, it broke, came back for a retest, and now it's on the way up. So actually, it's a pretty nice candle movement as a break test. However, for me, even though it has broken the trend line, for me, it's such a crucial zone, like we have done in yesterday's video, where we kind of highlighted how many times prices touched this point. And given the fact that it hasn't broken this previous high, which now it has, so I would basically just wait for a retest on this. Zone and then I would ride it all the way up. But yes, this was a beautiful one. So this is a break, came back to a retest on this line, this candle, and basically at the retest here could have been your entry, and then you could have ridden this whole thing with zero drawdown. So if your entry was at here, if you had waited for this, so basically I'm gonna put it here because bear with me. I just gonna cut. Oh gosh, it's gone. Bear with me. I just want to do the markup nicely. There we go. So this is more accurate. This is touching the top of this thing here. So over here would have been the entry. So it came back, retested the line very beautifully, and your number of pips right now is 1091 pips, right? So I mean, if you had gotten here, you would have had zero drawdowns. Let's put it that way. Okay, so that's another way of trading as well. But for me, I'm just waiting for another retest candle here, and then I would be looking for US30 being really bullish. All right, guys. So that's my take on US30 right now. So as you can see, it is actually hovering around this very important zone right now. And if you can look at the divergence, yeah, it's even though it's showing up, it's not. It's a bear right now. And let's look at the daily's divergence. Mm, yeah, I mean the daily doesn't really show me much of a divergence there, but it's just for me. I will wait for the retest. And also just be very careful when you are doing your pin bars here. Make sure you get a proper trend, let it do its retracement, and then you go in for a buy. All right, guys. So right now we are still on a buy on US30. Just be wait for the right signal to come in. Okay, so if you go to the 15 minutes, like I said, you would have had a signal here, but if you can see, it is doing a retracement here. Wait until fall, you might just come back here, touch this, and then go up. So let's just see what this does anyway. So Yeah, I would not have entered this trade just because of the divergence, guys, because I do feel either a reversal or a retracement is coming. So I would wait for the next signal. If it does push up and go back up again, if you see if it rejects this here, and basically if it's going to be pushing up, then I'll just wait for another signal to be fair, and then I will just take it. So it just depends what the market is going to do, but that's where we are with US30. So today we'll just do US30 top-down analysis. I know the other pairs were moving pretty well as well, but as always with the same strategy, look from a top-down analysis, have a naked chart, and let me see if there was any other pairs that was interesting. Um, yeah, so you can see USD JPY, we had a nice downtrend. We had a bearish pin bar print. This was a nice move down. If you guys are doing USD JPY, oops, it's a bit too high, but yeah. So this is about almost 100 pips. Um, but let me just go back to that, sorry. Yeah, I feel like it's gonna go up. Just look at the divergence. Yeah, I think it's going to push up. Look at the dailies. I'm more interested in what the daily is. Daily is the uptrend. Do you guys see that? So you see, that's the thing. So it's always so important to know your overall trend. So on a daily, this is basically on an uptrend, right, guys? Look at this. Right, on a weekly, we have a beautiful uptrend. Now look at this right now. It printed a bullish pin bar here, and so it is now forming so this might be a loss if anybody took this, it might basically take you up somewhere here. But I'm going to drop back down again. But if you see the lower time frames is showing a downtrend, but it could possibly be making its way back up again, guys. So because that was just a normal retracement. So sometimes you got to know the trend, and you got to know, is it a retracement, and then do your fibs so that you kind of figure that out, and then wait for the retracement to happen, and then wait for the bullish pin bar to appear, the moving averages to line back up again, and then take the buy. Does that make sense, guys? So I would be very careful with that. I just want to see, yeah, look at where price is right now. It's at quite a zone now, isn't it? As a support resistance zone. What I also want to do, I'm just going to turn this on instead of me drawing it. There we go. Do you see that? I was just showing you guys the support resistance zone. Look at where this is. So this is where price is, basically, right? It has broken through that. It might hit down to the support zone, possibly. I mean, I could draw more support resistance zones in between, but I believe this is more, how would I say, price has touched here a few times, kind of a zone like indicator. So I would basically see price. I'm just waiting to see what price does, because this will be an interesting ride if this actually pans out and it does not go below this and does not take you out, for example. This would be a nice long position, and I would have taken this up, to be fair. So my stop loss would have been here at the white line, which is 629 pips. But bear in mind, this is a weekly. So if you are an intraday, you're going to really keep the trade long, expect a lot of pips. You know what I'm saying? So, and then I would have taken it up here, 1,200. So basically 1:2 kind of a ratio. So this would have been my markup for that. But this would have been a very long hold, guys, which I typically don't trade this at all. But I would drop down to the 15 1 hour, and I'll be just careful of doing against the trend. But having said that, on a 15 minutes, like I told you guys, you have this bearish pin bar, you'd have taken this down. Look at this again. You had another bearish pin bar, but bear in mind there is a divergence which is going upwards. So like I've told you guys, see there's a bullish pin bar here printed. So I basically, you have your 1:1.52, and then I would have been out to risk to reward ratio, for example. Right, so that's that. So just go with do a top-down analysis, basically for any pair that you are trading, because obviously I can't cover every pair, but any pair that you're trading, it's so important to have a naked chart. do a top-down analysis, understand what is the overall trend, and then drop down to the 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 hour, or even 30 minutes time frame, and you can do quick scalps and quick like daily trades if you feel that all the rules have been met. Right, so your moving average has got to fan out. You've got to get the rejection pin bar, the bullish pin bar, and basically you are just following the trend of that timeline. So don't counter trade the trend during that time frame, if that makes sense, guys. Okay, so that's it for today. Hopefully you guys kind of understood the strategy behind how I made 158 pips on my trade yesterday in US30. And so yeah, and also understanding how I trade with the moving averages. If you've got any questions, pop them in the comments below, and happy trading and see you tomorrow.